Good afternoon. Today we are here to speak about creating an environment for business in the Bahamas and the F&M's deemed failure. Every year, the International Finance Corporation ranks the world's nations according to how easy or difficult it is to do business in those nations. In the last 4 years, under this F&M government, the Bahamas has fallen from an IFC ranking of 59 to an embarrassing 85. With respect to our Latin American and Caribbean neighbors, we now rank a deplorable 13th. Colombia, Tunisia, Rwanda, Puerto Rico, Slovenia, our competitor Panama, these are just a few of the 84 nations now ranked ahead of the Bahamas in ease of doing business. The continued downgrading of the Bahamas by the IFC reflects serious mismanagement of the economy by this F&M government. Small and medium enterprises should be the engine of economic growth in a country. Yet here is evidence that under this government, conditions for SMEs have worsened considerably year after year. The low ranking itself is very problematic, making it more difficult to encourage new business development, resulting in lost job creation opportunities, even as Bahamians struggle in this record high unemployment we have here today. While many countries in our region experienced economic growth last year, the Bahamian economy contracted once again, reflecting F&M policies that have made the recession worse. In many countries, governments work to ease the tax burden on its citizens and businesses during tough times in this recession. In the Bahamas, however, this F&M government thought it wise to raise taxes on Bahamians. The F&M government has canceled projects begun by the PLP, resulting in lost jobs and lost economic stimulus when it was needed at a time when our country and the world was feeling adverse effects. The F&M puts politics first, not people, and the government has failed to believe and invest in the people of the Bahamas, failing to stimulate or support the kind of new business development that would have led to job creation that we so desperately need. The Progressive Liberal Party is the only political party in the Bahamas which has a comprehensive and detailed plan to create jobs and to empower Bahamians. At a recent Job Creation and Empowerment Summit, PLP candidates joined our leader, the Right Honorable Perry Christie, and Deputy Leader Philip Brave Davis, on releasing dozens of ideas to stimulate the economy, to support small and medium-sized enterprises and new entrepreneurs, encourage hiring, promote Bahamian ownership of our economy, and reduce energy costs for all Bahamians. Under a PLP government from 2002 to 2007, 22,000 jobs were added to the Bahamian economy. Now a generation of PLP candidates have worked with the party leadership to create exciting, enticing, and innovative job creation plan that ensures Bahamians will have the skills, the training, and the access to affordable capital they need to compete in this 21st century global economy. The PLP plans include such things as business license fee rebates for companies who provide academic scholarships for Bahamian students, annual retraining for thousands of Bahamians, and skills that can be constantly updated, a Bahamian venture fund to support the launch of new Bahamian-owned businesses. In Friday's business section of the Nassau Guardian, we read how Minister of State for Finance, Zhivargo Lang, did his very best to explain away the failure of this F&M government to keep its 2007 manifesto promise. And that promise was to reduce bureaucratic obstacles for domestic and international businesses. The IFC, in their rankings, demonstrate that during the F&M's term, they have failed in this promise to the Bahamian people. But of particular concern is the response by the junior Minister of Finance on deemed approvals of business license after a specified period of time when the applicant has not received his certificate in his physical possession. The PLP wonders how a business person can secure a commercial bank account without a valid business license in hand, or how can one legally operate an establishment without the license in his hand? How do you go to national insurance and get your national insurance number without your business license in your hand? This deemed approval mechanism is quite problematic in practical terms of doing business. And how that affects an ease of business, I just don't understand. The PLP has a proud history of job creation and of putting Bahamians first. It's time for a change in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. It's time for the PLP. Thank you.
Okay, if you have any questions?
Let me just add that the PLP government would have also provided incentives for Bahamian business to hire through soft loans, the venture capital fund, and other business loan policy programs that would have helped business through this trying period and be able to employ staff. We'd even look at the business license and see what rebates can be given there. So I think we would have had a dynamic program of business incentives that would help small business keep people employed and create new small businesses in the Bahamas.
And let me just give you one real-world example. I have a friend who owns a small business in the Bahamas, and he was looking to expand his business. He's in the alarm business, so with the increase in crime, his business was actually expanding. Yet, when he faced an increase in taxes, not only on business license, but on importing of his trucks and vans that he needs to operate his business, he decided not to expand. He couldn't expand. It was too expensive to expand. So 10 Bahamians lost opportunities for employment as a direct result of the increase in taxes by this F&M government.
So basically, the rating that we got could have been avoidable.
Well, I think it certainly could have been avoidable. This has been a trend of 4 years going down in this rating. But if you look at other institutions, credit rating agencies, Moody's and Standard & Poor's, the Bahamas has been falling and receiving negative outlooks. If you look at the Financial Services Industry Ratings Index, every single year under this administration, we have likewise fallen. So this isn't a one-shot deal and just a one index deal. It's every international rating agency, whether it is ease of doing business, your financial services industry, your credit ratings. We have fallen in the Bahamas year after year under this F&M government.
We follow the U.S. model in investing from the public sector standpoint. During this crisis, the U.S. decided that they were going to invest in businesses, invest in small businesses. They call it invest in Main Street. We did the exact opposite. We invested our money in increased taxes and into the public sector. And if you want to drive an economy, Ryan mentioned that the small and medium-sized sector drives an economy. It's the engine of the economy. And in fact, we decided that we were going to shut down the small and medium-sized sector by increasing taxes on them. Secondly, I think when we decided that we were going to do a lot of capital works project, that was another failure of investing. The U.S. model of investing, everything stays in the economy. When we invest in capital works projects, most of the money goes outside of the country. So you don't get the type of economic stimulus that that the U.S. would get if you look at how their model is built and how our model and how our decision making took place.
When you have policies that cause a contraction in business, your revenues from a government point of view also fall. That is why the credit rating agencies have had negative outlooks on us as a country, because our revenues are falling as a country because we are having policies that are adverse to the business environment. If we created policies that stimulated business, like Kayla said, and caused expansion of businesses, then you would see government revenues go up because businesses are more successful. When your government revenues go up, your credit rating goes up as well, and you don't have the negative outlook by the credit rating agencies. So it's all tied together. So if you have a philosophy like this government has of hurting and penalizing small and medium-sized businesses, of not expanding into new industries, of not creating a platform that's attractive to doing business, of course your revenues are going to fall, and of course your credit agencies are going to come down on you.
Let me add that I also think that we could have prevented this decline in our indexes if we had kept the Ministry of Financial Services Investment. And I believe that also focusing on a ministry or a department or agency on small businesses, we could do a lot more to build. One thing, the removal of the Ministry of Financial Services Investment was a bad mistake that I believe caused the government not to focus on the things that are important, like financial services, and then also on new investment coming in the country, and then some way of helping small businesses grow the economy.